Welcome back to Turf Talk. One last prep edition. Ed DeRosa alongside James Scully. James, I guess we do have 2 points races. Obviously, the Arkansas Derby, the bigger one, will handicap it and on point, but things really wrapping up on the road to the Derby Trail, and barring really a defection at this point by Justify, he is going to be the Derby favorite.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I fully expect him to come to Churchill Downs and train like marvelously like American Pharoah did for Baffert, and it's just a question of how low his price is.
Yeah, he's done nothing wrong. I will oppose him. I opposed him last out, but really it's the short price that's the X more than anything he has or hasn't done. Obviously some questions to answer with the Apollo curse. Scat Daddy, some stats I've provided about his performance beyond a mile and an eighth on dirt, some reason for pause. I'm not even sure if he's the most likely winner. He's certainly among them. I can't take that short a price, though.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt about the fact that he's just really distinguished himself among this year's 3-year-old crop. The only question is, you know, how he'll handle the trip and all the extreme circumstances of the Kentucky Derby. But there is a lot of, and the quality competition. I mean, one thing about it is, I think in past years, if Justify had come along, he could have just overwhelmed them. But there is some really quality rivals, namely Mendelssohn is one, you know, I'm very fond of, but you can make a case Audible, Bolt d'Oro, and Magnum Moon all might be capable of beating him if he doesn't show up with his best.
Yeah, we'll certainly have a lot to say about handicapping the race, especially after we know what the Arkansas Derby and maybe the Lexington produces. For me, consistently fast is going to be a key, though. We know Justify is. He's proven it all 3 times out. To me, you mentioned 3 of the others that fit that bill, Bolt d'Oro, Audible, and Mendelssohn. Currently, I have Audible on top because his 2 races this year have been very fast, and I thought Hofburg behind him is a pretty good horse and has reason to improve. I'm not so sure when all is said and done I'll be able to resist picking Aiden O'Brien to win the Derby, though. I don't like the Dubai ship, but if anyone can do it, it's Aiden, right?
Yeah, that's the way I sort of look at it. I think that I've got Justify and Mendelssohn as the true stars so far the prep season with 2 races left. And I look at Mendelssohn's juvenile experience, the fact that he's shipped. I mean, that's another thing about Justify. He's never raced outside of Santa Anita. And that can be a big deal, especially for the Kentucky Derby. So I just think Mendelssohn has some intangibles, and he might be the same level of talent as Justify. And it's a really exciting matchup and proposition.
Mendelssohn, do you want Ryan Moore, or do you want him to have someone who knows Churchill a little better?
I want Ryan Moore. You know, I thought it was, after the race, I was encouraged when he said, hey, the Derby's a bucket list item for me. He basically said there's no chance I'm going to be riding the English 2,000 Guineas, even though I've got the favorite and would probably win it. He's coming to Kentucky for the Derby.
Yeah, I like it. I agree. I mean, we've seen him ride all over the world, aptly, different configurations, etc. Dirt, I guess, is somewhat of a question, but I'm not going to let it bother me. Wood Memorial's the only one we haven't touched on of the big races, and Good Magic for that matter. Where do you fit them in your top
You know,
list?
good Vino Rosso from the Wood Memorial is the only kind of horse I give a chance to in the Derby, but he's like more of like a bottom of the exotics type. You know, I think he'll be a little bit bet down, maybe 5th, 6th choice, but still be double-digit odds. But definitely got a chance to hit the board. I just don't think he's good enough to win this year.
And Good Magic?
Good Magic, I'm going to be playing against him. I will make a mention, though, of Flame Away. He's like a little bit of a horse that intrigues me out of the bluegrass. I don't think he has a chance to win, but he's a type that could work his way into my trifectas and superfectas because I like his hard-trying style.
Yeah, all right. Well, we've talked about the 100-point winners, all of which I expect even Vino Rosso will be in the top half of the wagering. You mentioned Flame Away a little bit, more is in underneath, but I'm looking for which of the bombs would least surprise you as a winner?
Which of the bombs?
Yeah, or projected bombs.
Well, right now, I mean, I keep coming back to like the horses that have a little bit of like, you know, class, you know, from like last year, like a horse like Solomini. I mean, he's still a projected bomb in my eyes. But, you know, outside of him, you're looking at like up-and-coming types like a Hofburg or somebody like that. You know, I'm going to be against Hofburg in terms of his inexperience, but he's like sort of like, you know, with Justify, you just don't know how good he is.
Have we closed the book on Bravazzo and Promises Fulfilled?
We have, yeah, those two, and if Friends Fire makes the race,
Right.
they're all in the same boat.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be dismissive, and we've seen horses turn around before, but to me, those performances, you can't come back from that and win a race like this.
Right, right. And, and I'm looking forward, we'll get to my boy Jack, but, he's another kind of exotic super horse.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, for now, I have Audible on top. You have Mendelssohn. We have the same 4 among our top 4. We defer after that, and we'll talk about on point what we expect this weekend. Maybe that'll shake things up again.
All right.